one more time in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as this 5-game series comes to an end. Final game before the All-Star break as the Brewers and Pittsburgh Pirates wrap it up on a warm and humid Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Yolis Chassin, then the workhorse in the rotation for the Brew Crew. They're 14-6 when he has a starting assignment. He gets the call today. Joe Musgrove, who came over as part of that Garrett Cole trade, gets the ball for the Buccos. Good afternoon. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minard is our reporter. Well, the Brewers will hope that Chassin can continue to pitch the way he has for the vast majority of this season and still trying to find a way to get some things going offensively, Rock. We know how good this team can be offensively. It's hit a bump in the road right now, and it's paying for it with the losing streak, but they've got the goods to snap out of this. Hopefully it's today.
Yeah, 162 games in a year. You're going to have bumps in the road, as you mentioned. 5-game losing streak is not the end of the world, but I guess the way they, finishing the first half of the season, it kind of looks a little bit bad. But again, a win here today, you're going to forget about all that. Home run has always been a big part of what the Brewers have done. They've only hit 3, and when they hit home runs, ordinarily they win. But the one thing you really like about the Brewers right now and why you think they have what it takes in the long run to get this thing done this year is the pitching. The team earned run average, outstanding work out of the pitching. Offense is always going to come and go. That seems to be the issue right now for the Brewers. They're just not able to score a lot of runs. But, throughout this 5-game losing streak, the pitching still has been pretty good. So I think overall it's been a good first half. You'd like to be able to finish out with a win here today.
Okay, interesting that winning percentage, more games in before last year's All-Star break, but a better winning percentage now than a year ago. Remember how excited we were last July? Brewers trying to get excited today, get the bats going. Series finale coming up. Wisconsin is brought to you by QP and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. QP and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. A warm summer weekend. Heat and humidity, the order of the day here again today. Mid-80s, good baseball weather as the Brewers and Pittsburgh Pirates wrap up the pre-All-Star portion of the schedule. We call it the first half, but this is game number 98 for the Brew Crew. And there you see our crew here today. We have director Dan Keener, or actually he's the producer, Dan Keener, director Phil Malika, as the Brewers look to end this on a good note. They're in some company here among really good teams, like playoff caliber teams. And just a reminder for all of us, if the season ended today, obviously it doesn't, but if it did, the Brewers are in the postseason.
Right.
So, Rock, they've hit a bump. I really lean heavily on guys like you who've lived it.
Yeah, you know what? I was in that 87 team. We won our first 13 games. Things were going well. Every time you threw your glove out there, you won games. And then in May, in 87, we lost 12 straight. So things kind of go back and forth. And in the course of 162 games, you're going to have bumps in the road. Remember the Diamondbacks in May? They lost 13 of 14. They have certainly turned things around. And we don't have to go back too far. Last year, the Dodgers in September, granted, they had the division pretty well sewn up, but they had a 104-win year. They lost 11 straight last year in September. So these things happen in the course of a long baseball season.
As Craig Counsell has said multiple times, it's the season. You will go through some valleys, and he's trying to get his team to get this portion of the schedule done on a high note here today and get those bats going. And speaking of those bats, let's check out the Brewers batting order for this series finale with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The batting order, per usual, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, and Jesus Aguilar. 1, 2, 3. Travis Shaw hitting cleanup. Tyler Saladino remains the shortstop, hitting fifth, followed by Hernan Perez. Brett Phillips called up from AAA Colorado Springs. He's in right field. Eric Kratz behind the plate. Yolis Chassin is on the mound, and that is the order, Rock, that will face today's starter for the Pirates, Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, made his first start with the Pirates. He was down in the minor leagues to start the year. He did that, made that first start the end of May. His numbers have been pretty good, and that includes a 2-start stretch where he gave up 11 earned runs in 8 1/3 innings. That was against Cincinnati and Arizona, making his first ever appearance against the Brewers. Let's check out the defense behind the Pittsburgh Pirates here this afternoon. You got Dickerson, Marte, and Polanco in the outfield. Moran, Mercer, Harrison, and Bell from third to first. And Diaz behind home plate. Diaz, good throwing catcher. Swings the bat pretty well with Francisco Cervelli on the disabled list. Figure Diaz is going to get ample playing time.
And the concussion issues continue to be just that for Francisco Cervelli. He just came off the DL last Sunday and went on it again this weekend as we are ready to roll from PNC Park. The 47-49 Pirates, winners of 7 of their last 8. Brew Crew at 55-42, facing Joe Musgrove, who was part of that big trade in the offseason, sending Garrett Cole down to Houston. Musgrove with the Stros last year, a bit of a swing man, and was involved in some very big stage games in the postseason. Lorenzo Cain going after the first pitch. He hammers it to center field, but running it down is Starling Marte. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, basically 3-pitch pitcher. Fastball, changeup, slider. Yeah, for Musgrove.
The umpire crew here today. Nick Lentz will call balls and strikes. Scott Berry, Paul Nartz, and Carlos Torres. The rest of the umpire crew here this afternoon. Musgrove, again, we mentioned a part of that world champion Astros team last season as he faces Christian Yelich. He had 15 starts, but 38 total appearances for the Stros and was used quite a bit in the postseason. Some in lower leverage situations, but not all of them. In fact, had a winning decision in that wild Game 5 of the World Series last year with the Dodgers. You remember that 10-inning, 13-12 win for Houston. He pitched a scoreless 10th out of the bullpen, did Musgrove, and that's how they used him late in the year. And the Astros walked it off in the bottom half of that inning, and he got himself a World Series winning decision.
There you go, invaluable experience playing in the postseason, World Series, and he's having a nice season. Started the year on the disabled list, a right shoulder strain. Some rehab starts down in the minor leagues. He's been good.
Pirates have had some very good pitching. You know, from the Brewers' perspective, we talk about the lack of offense, but to be fair, these Pirates pitchers have done a very good job as Yelich slaps one to Josh Harrison for out number 2.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. The Brewers could use a big inning. They haven't had a real big inning, you know, since Tuesday, where they had a 4-run second inning. The Brewers are good for that. They normally can put together some big innings. Chacin's been good on the road, 5-1, 12 starts this year. 13 of his first 21 starts this year have come on the road. And let's go Al Davis on us with the Raiders. Just win, baby. Just need a win today. Win to the All-Star break. Feeling good.
The Raiders. That's good. And that's a good plan as Jesus Aguilar will settle in. Aguilar broke up the shutout bid of the Pirates in Game 2 yesterday afternoon. It was a terrific at bat and just another example of the competitive nature of the most fun-loving bad man in baseball. A long at bat, dropped a 2-run single, homered on Thursday night, and that hit gets his average to an even 300 again.
Nice round number going into the break. And what the Pirates have been able to do in this series is keep the Brewers in the ballpark for the most part, and that's a big part of the Brewers offense. It's been that way throughout the year. And when you keep the Brewers in the yard, that's your best chance of beating them.
It's been a serious role reversal in this series. Jesus didn't like that breaking ball that Wentz gave Musgrove the corner on.
Borderline outside corner.
All 2 strikes. Aguilar will lift one to Marte, and it'll be a 1-2-3 first inning for Joe Musgrove and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Time for Chacin to take them out. Inning, crew sent down in order to begin the day here today, as now the hot Pittsburgh Pirates team comes calling in the home half of inning number 1. And here is the Pittsburgh batting order presented by Potawatomi. Corey Dickerson remains at the top, followed by Starling Marte and Gregory Polanco. Diaz, Moran, and Bell in the middle. Harrison, Mercer, and Musgrove rounding out the order for the Buccos, and that's the look that will face Yolis Chacin.
Yeah, good guy to finish up the first half. The Brewers are 14-6 in his first 20 starts. 5-1 on the road, a .384 earned run average for Chacin away from Miller Park.
Continues to take the ball at every turn, does Chacin, as he works Corey Dickerson outside.
Been very good against the Pirates this year. 2 starts, he's only allowed 2 earned runs.
He was on the wrong end of that 1-0 setback here a month ago in one of the 2 games played before Game 3 was rained out. There's Aguilar, a little backhand stab for out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defensively. You got Yelich Kane and Phillips in the outfield. Phil just got here in Pittsburgh. I mean, he was in the starting lineup, wasn't here until just before game time. Shaw, Saladino, Perez, and Aguilar from third to first, and Eric Kratz behind home plate. And Brett Phillips on the roster. Jonathan Villar placed on the disabled list before today's game.
Yeah, the injuries continue for this ball club. Well, we've talked about it a lot, but it's there. I'm just telling you the facts. This team has had one injury after another. As you check out the defensive alignment for Starling Marte, the very hot hitting center fielder for the Pirates. He went through the toughest month that he's gone through as a Pirate in June. Clint Hurdle gave him a few days off, and since then he has hit safely in his last 11 games at a .419 clip.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah, sit around, watch some games, kind of do a reset, take some extra batting practice, check out some video, and he's turned things around.
That's what Marte has done. Serious run production, and he was a big factor yesterday for the Pirates. Rock mentioned a bit of the role reversal in this series. The Pirates now entering today's play. Only 3 teams in the National League have hit fewer home runs than Pittsburgh, but they have brought the bats in back-to-back fashion yesterday, not once but twice. A little check swing comebacker, and there are 2 up, 2 down. Trying to keep these guys in the ballpark today, because here's what happened yesterday afternoon. This is game 1 against Chase Anderson. The Marte and Gregory Polanco show. They did it in the opener, and there was more where that came from in game 2. That was against Aaron Wilkerson. The last time that was done, back-to-backs in both ends of a doubleheader, you go back to 1968. Sal Bando and Reggie Jackson.
There you go.
And actually, the Pirates had a duo to get that done as well, going back to 1957. Dick Rote and Frank Thomas.
Not the big hurt.
Exactly.
No, before his time.
For anybody wondering. Boy, he played a long time.
Yeah, he was something. Even back then.
Here is Polanco.
Digging on the throwback uniforms for the Pirates today.
Yeah, a little We Are family.
Yeah, they got the hats with the rings around them.
Yeah. Those great teams they had in the 70s. Willie Stargell, Manny Sanguillen. Polanco rips one deep but foul. And Chacin ahead of the count, a ball, 2 strikes.
Pops. Willie Stargell.
Yes, sir. Of course, everybody remembers number 21, Roberto Clemente. Big part of that 71 championship team here in Pittsburgh, the epic 7-game series with the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah. 16 homers, 51 driven in for Gregory Polanco. As into the shift goes Gregory, and the throw is wide of the mark from Hernan Perez.
I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, it didn't really look like it was that bad of a throw. It was off the mark, but I'm not sure if Aguilar was stretched a little bit too soon, not able to get there. Didn't want to make contact with a runner, but that's going to be an error on somebody. Takes Aguilar a while to get there, and it's kind of just really kind of gave up on it, it looked like. It wasn't that bad a throw.
A first inning error extends the frame now for the cleanup hitter.
Either that, he just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Took him a while to get there, and then he turned around and really didn't even go after it.
Yeah, didn't extend the glove out there. A strange play. Let's hope from the Brewers' perspective it doesn't come back to sting him. It can happen when you're struggling. Well, mistakes can get magnified.
And watch how far he has to go to get there. He And it looks like he sees it, but didn't go after it. It was a little bit further off the mark than I thought. It's going to be an E4, I'd imagine.
Striking nothing to Elias Diaz.
It's a hot one today here in Pittsburgh. A little humid.
Yeah, it feels more so today. Yesterday it was in the 90s,
Yeah.
mid-80s today, but a little more thickness to the air. We do have a chance of a passing rain shower. They say 50-50 as we move along. Skies look okay right now.
They're young. They can handle it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the umpires you got to worry about.
Nick Lentz calling the balls and strikes. 1 strike and nothing to Diaz.
That's been a good pitch for Chassin. That curveball left that one up and in, but that curveball has been a difference maker for him over the last dozen starts. It's been a really good pitch for him. The strikeout pitch. He's been getting some pop-ups on it. Good compliment to his fastball.
Looking for win number 9 this afternoon. Yolis Chassin. Those off-season acquisitions for David Stearns. Polanco running as Diaz fouls it off. All the attention with the acquisitions of Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich, Chassin was right there in the mix. It was less heralded, but had a very good year with the San Diego Padres last season. 13-game winner and took 32 turns on the mound for the Padres.
Yeah, being dependable, that's a big deal. Knowing that you have a guy out there that's going to make a start every 5 days. He'll take the ball even when he's not feeling 100%.
Chassin has been that guy. And some good fortune so far. Knock on wood. That'll continue as this ball club pushes through and on into the quote second half of the season. Polanco again running, and Diaz again fouls it off.
Yeah, game 98 for the Brewers. Well past the halfway point.
Yeah, it's a push in the 2/3 point of the regular season. We'll get back at it on Friday at Miller Park. Jump right back into it with the Dodgers coming to town, and then the Nationals will follow. Brewers are going to be facing a string of contenders in a wide open National League. It sets up for a very exciting last 2.5 months. Diaz with a fly ball hit into center field. Cain calls for it, and that will do it. So the error causes no damage as Chassin gets through a scoreless first in Pittsburgh.
Pirates, no score as we head to the second. And going back to last Sunday and the past week, the Brewers have made 26 roster moves, and they continued with that here this morning. So a number of moves to update you on. Jonathan VR placed on the 10-day disabled list. He has a sprained right thumb. That was an injury that he suffered in Game 2, the 7th inning, when he tried to go from first to third and was thrown out. So he did have x-rays on that thumb. He is scheduled to have an MRI later today to determine the severity of that thumb sprain. So he's the 4th position player for the Brewers to go on the disabled list, with Ryan Braun, Manny Pena, Eric Thames, who was placed on the DL yesterday, and now VR. So they've called up Brett Phillips. He had a great game last night in AAA, went 2 for 5 with a double and a home run. He did get to the ballpark here around noon after playing a long game in New Orleans last night. So he's in right field tonight, and Aaron Wilkerson was optioned back to AAA.
Sophia, thanks. Think about what she said in that report. 26 roster moves in the last week. That's a little unusual, we'll say. Here's Travis Shaw, and he gets into one deep into right field, and that is out of here. A home run for Travis Shaw, number 18 on the season, as the Brewers finally in this series are first on the board.
Travis went down and got one off-speed pitch, 85 miles an hour, and just hooked it on out of here. There's a good start. Brewers always do well when they score first and when they homer. That was a changeup. And he goes down and gets it. Boy, he likes the ball down in the zone, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
That ball was below the knees, just golfs it on out of here. Nice easy swing, and the Brewers take a lead.
Our ball home run count, number 18 on the season for Travis Shaw. The Brewers score first here in Pittsburgh. As Rock mentioned, the numbers really back it up. When they score first, when they go deep, it turns into a very good day or night far more often than not.
Yeah, a little further on what Sophia was talking about with the transaction. The Brewers currently have 6 position players that were in AAA not that long ago. Yeah, Miller got called up, Broxton, Nottingham, Orf, Saladino, and Phillips.
Speaking of Saladino, a ball, 2 strikes. Had a good series. And he hits this one into center field. Routine for Marte, and there is out number 1. Again, backing up the point here, all those Brewers on the disabled list, and this is how it stands right now. Ryan Braun not on the trip. You see how many of these guys with Braun and Manny and so on and so forth, how many of these guys can get back up and running out of the break.
That's not just for the year. I mean, that's now. That's a current disabled list, and that is a monster list right there. A lot of guys. Yeah, but the Brewers still with the most wins in the National League, able to cover up those injuries, but you can't do that for long. You need your guys in the lineup. You got to have Braun, you got to have Pena, you got to have Thames back in there. That's how you get that consistent offense.
Here's Hernan Perez. I've been giving you those Orlando Arcia updates as well. He had a hit last night, drove in a run. He was hitting right behind Brett Phillips in the Sky Sox batting order. Orlando now 302. That's his average in AAA. So he's had, Rock, a fair chance maybe to get some things straightened out, which he didn't have just playing, couple 3 games before Saladino was hurt several weeks ago.
And hopefully he's able to get that stroke back that he had last year, because they could use him defensively. They like his energy in the field and in the dugout. Very popular player on the team.
And work defensively. Anybody who's watched Orlando even a little bit know the value he can bring to the party.
Yeah, since he's been gone, the other infielders get to catch pop-ups too.
That's a good point.
He wants to catch everything. Yeah,
he'll take everything that's out in left field.
But I think that's the energy we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Here. I mean, he just brings the energy to the ballpark on a daily basis. He'll be back, and hopefully he's going to be able to hit.
3-1 to Hernan Perez, and he works Musgrove for a walk. And here is Brett Phillips. He of the cannon arm. Right fielder today for Milwaukee. See what he does on this opportunity with the Brew Crew. Stint number 3 for Phillips. A couple of hits for him so far with the big club, and a comeback there to Musgrove. There's Mercer for 1, and that is a double play. 1-6-3 to end the second inning, but the Brewers break through, scoring first for the first time in this series as Travis Shaw sends one into the right field seats. 1-0 Brew Crew.
$39.99. You can access AC streams of all out-of-market games, plus enjoy a free MLB At-Bat Premium subscription when you sign up. Learn more by going to MLB.tv today.
There you go. Get that hot dog going on a Sunday afternoon. Watch a little Brewers baseball. Brewers with a 1-0 lead for Yolis Chassin as he faces Colin Moran to lead off inning number 2 for the Pirates. Pops it up. Hernan Perez, 1 out. Think of that look, Rock.
Got a nice chain working. Is that one of the gifts from Lorenzo?
Oh, that's right. You know, the days of Eddie.
12 Days of Christmas. That's actually Eric Thames' chain, but Eddie gets to wear it today.
It's a good question, though. You know, the 12 Days of Eddie, which actually started in spring training. The 12 days really just a way of putting it. You know, when he gave up his number 6 for Lorenzo, you get a lot of gifts from the Brewers center fielder. Now Eric Thames contributing as well.
You know what that is? I mean, these guys are pretty superstitious, so switching it up a little bit.
Josh Bell sends one out in the center field. Long run, low. Kane got it. Always in control is the all-star center fielder, Lorenzo Kane, for the second out.
I saw him make a couple of really good catches out in right center in yesterday's doubleheader. This one a little bit more difficult in my mind because it's right over his head. Got to go straight back. Never does take his eye off of it. Knows exactly where he is on that warning track and hauls it in. Boy, how many times has he run into the wall in the outfield this year? Good stuff by Lorenzo Kane, as usual.
Yeah, did a good job of bracing himself as best he could. Once again, a tough play is converted by Lorenzo Kane, and no outfield in the National League or in baseball period turns in those kind of plays more than the Milwaukee Brewers. Every time a play like that happens, I just go back to Chassin's comments way back in January at the Brewers on deck event. You make business decisions when you move, and that's always a part of it. But Chassin was very excited about the outfield behind him and the ability to run down balls, and that's exactly what Yolis is talking about, what Kane just did.
And a lot of opportunities in this ballpark. Big outfield, and if it stays in the ballpark, good chance Lorenzo is going to put it in the glove.
3-1 pitch to Josh Harrison. This is hit in the air. Brett Phillips on the run, and he'll squeeze it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Chassin in the second. 1-0 Brew Crew as we move to the third. Yeah, the change in St. Louis, Mike Matheny. We know about the rivalry, but Brewer fans are well aware of Matheny's playing history as a Milwaukee Brewer. Eric Kratz, first pitch swinging lines out to Colin Moran, 1 away. And I know, Rock, you know Matheny, and you can tell us, and I'm sure you have to be tough to be a catcher to begin with, but Matheny is one of those all-day tough guys.
Yeah.
Pretty tough act to follow there in St. Louis. He did well. The body of work is impressive. You're following Tony La Russa. That's tough.
Yeah, tough as nails. And I think, if you are one of those guys that, requires a lot and you speak your mind, it doesn't always play that well these days. You got to be a little more diplomatic. Not to say that, Matheny was not, but, when you talk about 4 appearances in the postseason in 7 years, right? 6+ years. 3 division titles. There's a little bit more behind the scenes that you have to dig into. Peel this onion back a little bit, because it's just not, lack of winning and losing, because he did a fair amount of that. Look, the Cardinals are a game over 500.
Right.
He and Molina had their little sparring matches from time to time, and let's face it, it is Yadier Molina's club. So maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows?
Interesting days in St. Louis, and speculation will be swirling as to who may get that job for the long run. But you see the Cardinals at just a game over, they're still in this thing. A long way to go as Chassin bounces one. Another chance for Moran. That's the second out of the inning.
And the Cardinals, known for, late season surges. Just look at it, 2011, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to remind the Brewers of that. But, Cardinal Nation does not accept mediocrity. That's what kind of they've been last couple of years.
Yeah, and the bar there quite high. So the second managerial change within the division prior to the All-Star break. The Reds, of course, a couple months ago now, made the move. That was back in April when they made the move, removing Brian Price. Jim Riggleman elevated.
Yeah, look what the Reds have been doing.
Yeah, they have beaten the Cardinals each of the last 2 days, in fact. But the Reds, they're hitting like we all kind of feared they would.
Yeah.
And they're doing that right now.
Pitching's been better too.
Yes, it has. There are no easy outs in the Central. Reds were battered, and badly so, in the first few weeks of the season. The Brewers teed off on them in April and early May, and the Reds have gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes out of St. Louis regarding that, letting Mike Matheny go. There's more to that story than meets the eye.
2-0 pitch to Lorenzo Cain is in there. Cut fastball from Joe Musgrove. 25-year-old out of El Cajon, California. This is start number 9. Originally a draft pick by the Blue Jays back in 2011. It does set up to have a lot of exciting baseball. A week ago, the Pirates were all but down and out. Their general manager, Neil Huntington, said needed a big week here to determine what this franchise may do in terms of transactions. And since that chat with the media about the club state, the Pirates have won 7 of their last 8. A busy Colin Moran here in inning number 3 as the Brewers are retired in order. Still 1-0 Milwaukee. From the nation's capital, it's the MLB All-Star Game. Tuesday at 6:30 Central. Only on Fox or streaming live on the Fox Sports app. 5 Brewers will have the All-Star uniform on, representing the National League. Well, Rock,
Yeah.
they're killing me with that
See,
shot.
they're doing,
there.
they're taunting us is what they're doing.
They really are. Our tiki boats once again. Killing now.
You got some information on those. I'm going to look into that. You
Yeah.
ever have an off day here in Pittsburgh? We're loading up.
I'm all in.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that we said it all weekend. This is a perfect few days to be on that boat. 2 world's greatest tiki huts. Jordy Mercer in the air to Christian Yelich. 1 away. Now you were there. I said, look, Mr. Malika, director, don't taunt us with those tiki hut shots anymore.
Yeah.
And
every day. We've been here 4 days. We saw it a couple of times in a doubleheader yesterday.
Sure enough.
I'll tell you, those things clip along pretty good. And they're round.
Here's Joe Musgrove laying one down. Chacin, and unable to scoop it is Aguilar. Hernan Perez busting over there, backs it up.
Another error on the Brewers. Boy. He won.
Yeah, got away with the first one of the first inning and an error charged to Hernan Perez.
Defense has been a little shoddy on the road trip. That's a tough pick for Aguilar. Perez backing it up. Musgrove has to stay at first base.
Only 2 Pirates base runners so far off Chacin have reached via an error. Polanco in the first and now Musgrove in the third. Top of the order for Corey Dickerson. Hurdle moved Dickerson to the top of the batting order in the last week. This is his 6th game in that spot in the order. They shuffled the deck recently with Josh Harrison's struggles offensively, moving him down to the 7th spot. Dickerson 5 for 21 in the last week at the top of the Pirates batting order.
Yeah, and still the Pirates able to score some runs. Always had a good on base percentage. Good solid player.
He's a .339 on base percentage right now, and he will lift one into right field. That's hit well. Brett Phillips going back, and it is gone. A home run. 2-run shot for Corey Dickerson as the Pirates take the lead on their first hit of the day.
So the 8th home run allowed by Chacin this year. Kind of looked a lot like the swing that Travis Shaw took on his home run. Pitch down. Look at it. He golfs it on out of here. It's a breaking pitch. And you get it high enough, that 21-foot fence. Those are where you can hit them. You don't have to get all of them out there in right field.
Here's Starling Marte waving at a breaking ball. Let's check out StatCast powered by AWS. 370 it goes, and
drops it in the first row.
Yeah, you're right. Golfed it out there at 95. Couple of breaking balls has Chacin ahead. You mentioned only the 8 home runs he's allowed, the first since June 24th against the Cardinals at Miller Park. And he gets Marte.
Yeah, quick delivery right there. Marte kind of surprised by how quickly Chacin got rid of the baseball. He'll do that every now and again. A lot of times we go with that high leg kick, not that time. Breaking pitch off the plate.
Two away here in the third. And the alignment for the right fielder Gregory Polanco. Each done an error in the first. Mentioned that home run that Chacin allowed against the Cardinals. That outing was his roughest of the year, and by a considerable margin. 4 1/3, 8 runs. He gave up 8 earned runs. He has been steady. Had a few bumps in the road to begin the season. The first 3 starts were not what he would have wanted, but then was able to straighten some things out after that. Put together a very good month of May, as did this entire Brewers team.
Yeah, month of May, he had 5 starts, a .273 earned run average. I mean, tremendous work. But only won 1 game. He's 1-0. A lot of no decisions in there for Chassin.
A ball, 2 strikes to Polanco. Well, the number you always refer to, the Rock, and with reason, the team is 14-6 when he gets the starting call. Chassin's 8-3, but when he's on the mound, he far more often than not, at worst, gives his team every chance to get the job done.
Yeah, 14-6, and there was a stretch where the Brewers lost 3 in a row with him on the mound. That's how good he's been. He was a lot better than that before that 3-game stretch. And that is, after all, the most important thing. Does your team win when you're on the mound?
Start number 21 for Chassin. Payoff pitch to Polanco, and that is roped foul. Chassin, another one of those reasons why the Brewers are in the thick of this playoff chase. Postseason worthy at the moment. A game and a half behind the Cubs. Cubs got a win in San Diego again last night. They've taken the first 2 games of the series against the Padres. There's a bouncer to Aguilar. He'll handle it himself. And that'll do it for Pittsburgh. They take advantage of an error, and then Corey Dickerson goes deep. 2-1 Pirates after 3. Is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Really? Really? You had to show it again, didn't you? Thank you very much. Not that we like to run anything to the ground around here. 2-1 Pirates lead the Brewers. We move to the 4th inning. The Tiki cruises.
Yeah.
They're killing us. 2, 3, and 4 for the Brewers. Yelich, Aguilar, and Shaw. Pirates grabbing the lead. Corey Dickerson, 2-run homer. One ball in play here today. Travis Shaw deep in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it looks like a good all-star break activity out there, doesn't it?
It really does.
You might not have the grass hut, but I think you have a boat you can jump on.
Yeah, you can do that. That's a possibility. You too, maybe?
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
4 days to kick back before the games begin again. And that is in there. Strike 3 called. Slider in there to take care of Yelich for out number 1.
He's had a good one today. That one right on the inside corner up in the zone. It was a hanger, but I think it fooled Yelich. It caught the inside corner.
Here is Jesus Aguilar. He'll be taking part in tomorrow's home run derby at Nationals Park. Top seed in the event. He will square off in round 1 against Rhys Hoskins of the Philadelphia Phillies, and he gets hit. Oh, up and into Aguilar.
Yeah, that's about the last thing that you want to see last game before the break. Guy coming up and in. Looks like he's going to be all right. Got to get a little bit closer than that, Joe. We're going to come inside. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Right on the bottom hand. Boy.
So every Brewers fans out there.
Yeah, a lot of little bones. A lot of little bones in that area of the hand, and you get that grip tight around that bat. Very easy to break one of those bones, and now you hope he's going to be all right.
Athletic trainer Dan Wright was out there along with Craig Counsell. Jesus stays in there. Ooh. One out, one on for Travis Shaw. This is the 4th time that Jesus has been hit by a pitch this season, by the way. And Shaw bloops one. Nice stab. Harrison retreating is Aguilar. As Harrison takes a hit away from Travis Shaw for the 2nd out.
Yeah, perfectly timed leap. He's not a big guy. He's about 5'8", and he's able to go back and time his jump perfectly to be able to haul it in. Another foot, and that's a base hit into right field. Aguilar able to get back to first.
That, by the way, is the 5th hitter. When Aguilar was plunked, it's the 5th hitter that Musgrove has gotten this year. Here's Saladino. Lofting one out to right field. Long run. Polanco can't get it. It's down, a base hit. As Aguilar on the move, he'll get to 3rd. Runners at the corners with 2 outs.
5 hit batters, not all that many if you look at it, but he's only made now 9 starts. So.
Yeah. Talking about 47, not quite 48 innings of work.
Yeah, and he likes to come inside, keep hitters off of that breaking pitch, but boy, you get miss high up like that. That's dangerous. But Saladino able to dump one down the line right off the end of the bat.
All right, we'll see if the Brewers can get the big 2-out hit there. We documented at the top of our broadcast the struggles with runners in scoring position, but this team has had a knack. You look at the body of work, getting those 2-out RBI knocks. Let's see what Hernan Perez can do here.
Waiting for one of those big innings. That's what we talked about, on our pizza ranch today. Need one big inning to snap this offense out of it. Those 3, 4, 5 run innings. Brewers haven't had one of those innings since Tuesday against the Marlins. A 4-run 2nd inning.
Hernan has driven in 22 on the year and a roller over to Moran. And that threat gets turned back. Brewers leave him at 1st and 3rd. We are through 3 1/2 at Pittsburgh with the Pirates holding a 1-run lead.
lead, and the Brewers' wives play an important role in the club's community outreach efforts through their commitment to several important causes. Each summer, the Brewers' wives team up with Brewers Community Foundation to raise funds through a number of special events, with proceeds earmarked for various organizations in Greater Milwaukee.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Jesus Aguilar stays in the game, and that makes all Brewer fans feel a lot better. He got hit by a pitch top half of this inning, left hand. He was still out there for the Brewers in the bottom of the fourth.
Very fortunate, as high as that pitch was.
Elias Diaz leading off against Yoeli Chassin. Diaz hit a fly ball to center his first trip. Waving at a Chassin breaking ball. It's 2 strikes and nothing. See, he's done a nice job in there. He backed up Francisco Cervelli, quite a bit last year, and has been their primary starter when Cervelli has been out this season, which he mistimed at Cervelli with the concussion. Came off last Sunday, went back on the DL this weekend, and that is a strikeout for Chassin. First out in the fourth.
Yeah, good breaking pitch, and that's where you want to get that guy. He's got that big swing. You make a mistake with a fastball or leave one of those sliders up, he's going to hit it hard somewhere, but that's good location with 2 strikes.
One out now as Chassin will face Colin Moran. The Pirates, with their work in the last week, now in the wild card standings are just 5.5 outs. So interesting times. We're all speculating, no matter the fan base you're a part of, what may or may not happen with your favorite team between now and the non-waiver deadline. You can make moves after that, a little more difficult, needing to clear waivers through the end of August. Glenn Hurdle has guided his team at least to the edge of being in the chase. A lot of teams that they're going to have to jump over.
Yeah, they're on a nice run, though.
They are. Sets up an exciting season here. There's a ground ball on the charge is Perez for the second out.
After the All-Star break, they have a 4-game series. I should say a 3-game series against Cincinnati on the road, then go to Cleveland.
Indians lead the Central by 7.5. The National League just sets up to be a far more exciting stretch run than the American League, where it's more about just playoff positioning. The Red Sox and the Yankees, Red Sox up by 3.5. You get in any way you can. You get in as a wild card, you can get it done, but you want to, if you possibly can, to avoid that winner go home wild card game. There's some pretty clear separation. A's have been playing well. They would be the one team that would crack what is otherwise looks like a pretty set 5 teams to get into the postseason.
We have 4 games behind Seattle for that second wild card in the American League.
Mariners have been so interesting this year. 58 wins, 26 of which have been 1-run decisions. The ball is strike to Josh Bell.
Boston Red Sox, 37 games over 500. 67-30.
And at the other end of the spectrum, the Baltimore Orioles, 39.5 games out.
Most ever at the All-Star break.
Yeah, 27 wins. That's it for the Orioles this season. Steady diet of breaking balls from Chassin. 2-2 the count to Josh Bell.
Now Chassin sitting in that dugout throughout the series watching the Pirates take some pretty good swings on fastballs. And he's got a good curve.
The 2-2. In the air, center field. Drifting over is Kane. good clean inning for you, Elise Chassin. We're through 4 with the Pirates up a run.
PNC Park. Brewers down by a run, and add another cap to your Brewers hat rotation this Friday. The Brewers host the Dodgers, and the first 20,000 fans will take home a limited edition strap-back hat courtesy of American Family Insurance. For tickets, visit brewers.com.
Good looking hat. Get you going as play resumes next weekend after the All-Star break. Here's Brett Phillips leading things off against Joe Musgrove. Just joining us, Phillips called up from AAA Colorado Springs, his 3rd stints with the Brew Crew, appearing in his 10th game this year. So he had a good dose of bigger stage games a year ago with the Crew. 22 games he played in the final month of the season and hit 308s in that stretch. Drove in 8 runs, went deep a couple of times. At this level for him, it's been about the constant battle of cutting down on the strikeout total. Something that he's been working on even going back into spring training. Covers a ton of ground out of the outfield. Rocket arm.
And pretty good on base percentage down in AAA this year. Hit 240. 6 home runs, 25 RBIs.
Yeah, 331 on base percentage. To your point, a swing and a miss there for out number 1 in the 5th.
And Musgrove, throwing all of his pitches for strikes. Fastball looked like a cutter that was backdoored to the outside part of the plate. Guy doesn't mess around. You got 2 guys starting today that don't mess around, throwing strikes, just attacking hitters early in the count.
Here is Eric Kratz. Kratz has 3 hits in the series. He extended the 9th inning of game 1 yesterday. It was a 1-run setback for the Brewers. 2-out single in that 9th inning, but was left stranded there. Colin Moran getting a lot of opportunities so far today, handling them all. 2 up, 2 down. about injured Brewers, let's focus on one of the starters right now, Zach Davies, as we check in with Sophia Minard.
Yeah, Matt, coming out of the All-Star break, Craig Counsell has not set his starting rotation for that first series against the Dodgers, with both Zach Davies and Junior Guerra on the disabled list. But Zach Davies is taking good steps forward with that right shoulder. He did throw a bullpen here yesterday. He is likely going to throw another bullpen tomorrow at Miller Park. He's hoping that he can go to Appleton and throw to live hitters either there or at the team workout on Thursday at Miller Park. So he's taking good steps forward. He has yet to figure out in terms of how many minor league rehab starts he would have to make, but he is getting close to rejoining this team.
And what a lift that would be. We know how good he is, Rock, when he's right. He gets Zach Davies back into the fold. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, the year he had last year, what a surprise. And talking about guys on the mound when the Brewers win, that was Zach Davies. Early in the year, he won games, and the Brewers scored a ton of runs for him, but as the season went on, he just kept getting better and better. Unfortunate that he's got that shoulder, now back issue, and you got to get him back on the mound.
And that trick, get him back and keep him back. 2 strikes and nothing to Chassin.
One of 10 players currently on the disabled list for Milwaukee. That's a ton, all at one time. That includes Jimmy Nelson, Stephen Vogt.
Yet Counsell has his team in the thick of the chase. A better winning percentage, in fact, than at the All-Star break last year. Chassin, a wave and a miss. Couple of strikeouts in the inning for Musgrove. He has 3 through the first 5. Still 2-1 Pirates. Lights, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota, let's go places. Sunday afternoon at Pittsburgh, 2-1. Pirates lead the Brewers as we move to the bottom half of inning number 5. July 15th. This day in 1975. Hank Aaron, who was an all-star every season from 1955 through 1975. His final all-star appearance, County Stadium. An incredible run for a player who was as good as any who ever wore a uniform.
Yeah, no kidding. The greatest of all home run hitters.
Yes, sir.
It's always great to see Hank Aaron at Miller Park. Boy, does he command the room when he walks in.
Thrill of my lifetime professionally to be able to meet Mr. Aaron. I mean, you just become a true fanboy. Yeah. At least I did. And he could not have been more gracious. It was just phenomenal.
Yep. Yeah, he is Mr. Aaron to all of us. I feel bad to call him Hank.
That's the way I was in the entire evening.
That's what you called him.
Yeah.
They used to be roommates, Euchre and Bob and Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron could do it all. Such a consistently great player. Hit for average, the power, obviously, run production on the lineup card every day. And all with the utmost class.
Yeah. A lot of adversity for sure when he was chasing that Babe Ruth home run record.
Whoa. Harrison with a ground ball. Charging is Saladino. One away.
Yeah, Bob would you could tell stories about what Hank used to go through when he was in the big leagues in the early days. Able to press on.
Can only try to imagine what that was like. So many of us who are old enough to remember at the end of that chase when he tied the home run record in Cincinnati, he addressed the crowd and said, I really just want to get it over with. And when he did in Atlanta off Al Downing,
yeah.
I'm glad it's over with. Great moments, though, that the game has ever had. Jordy Mercer taking one inside from Chacin. We showed the All-Star moment. That's the part of the beauty of this sport, where the All-Star game is so much fun to watch, and it is an exhibition, but it's still, you still see matchups. Even with interleague play, you're still going to see some matchups that you normally wouldn't otherwise, and that's the fun of it. And there's so many memorable moments in the game, and we'll see what this year's game has to add to that on Tuesday night. The great part from the Brewers fans' perspective is that 5 Milwaukee Brewers are represented. That is the most in franchise history. And there were no gimmies. There were no PR moves there. I mean, all 5 of them earned it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Every one of the Brewer players that deserve to go to the All-Star game, they're going. That shows what, Major League Baseball, the fans think of the Milwaukee Brewers these days. The fans, their peers, the other players in the league, that fan vote. Major League Baseball adds some. Dave Roberts, the National League manager for the All-Star game, adds a couple.
2-2 pitch. Chacin gets Jordy Mercer. And with one out, there is one on. So now both teams have been hit by a pitch. Here are the All-Stars, Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Josh Hader certainly earning it. Jesus via the fan vote, and Jeremy Jefferson for Sean Doolittle. Yelich, it's his first selection, and he's probably been worthy in other years, but part of a club in the thick of the battle here. He gets in for the first time.
Yeah, all of them first time except for Lorenzo Cain.
Joe Musgrove lays one down. Chacin to the covering Hernan Perez. Sacrifice complete as Mercer moves to second.
Pretty good execution. Second time he's dropped down a bunt. He reached on an error the first time. Able to advance the base runner this time.
Top of the order, Corey Dickerson. He's the man who has given the Pirates this one-run lead. And has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the 5th. The breaking balls continuing from Chacin. Let's go back to the 3rd inning. And what about golfing one out of here? That's exactly what Corey Dickerson did.
Yeah, normally a good pitch at breaking pitch down and in, but normally lefties like it down there. Did a good job putting the barrel of the bat on it.
It's his 7th home run of the year. Driven in 37 runs on the season. Great look at this ballpark and the Pittsburgh skyline, the Clemente Bridge. Here's the break-even pitch. Caught the corner. Mercer hit by a pitch, advancing on a sacrifice bunt. Mercer's had a good series here for the Pirates, 5 for 12. Big night on Friday, did the Pirates shortstop.
Yeah, bottom of the Pirates' order has been pretty good in this series. They really have. They've been driving in runs, getting on base.
Yeah, that Bell, Harrison, Mercer trio, especially Bell and Mercer. Mercer drove in 4. Bell had a long stretch of plate appearances where the Brewers could not get him out. A ball, 2 strikes to Dickerson. Little tapper back to Yolis. And that'll do it for the Pirates in inning number 5. Good pitching matchup this afternoon. 2-1 as we move to the 6th.
For all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Top of the 6th at PNC Park. Pirates with a 1-run lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. Who's second baseman now for the Pirates? Josh Harrison's day is done. Max Moroff, who homered yesterday, now on for Pittsburgh. Top of the order now for Milwaukee as Lorenzo Cain leads off.
And now's the time to get something going. Top of the order up, 3rd time through against Musgrove today. You've seen what he's throwing. See if the Brewers can put together a big inning.
Cutter missing. A ball, a strike to Cain. And yet another chance for Colin Moran. 1 away.
A lot of ground ball outs. Hey, the Brewers return home to Miller Park after the All-Star break for a 3-game series against the Dodgers this coming Friday through Sunday. Check out the complete schedule featuring 2 big gate giveaways at Brewers.com. Big day on July 20th.
Oh, yes, sir. Big brew off. Little mic drop, little high heat.
Special ticket package. You get to taste both. Vote.
Yelich trying to bunt his way on. It's going to be a big night at Miller Park now. And oh, by the way, the Dodgers are here.
Yeah. Pretty good team.
Yeah, not bad.
Think about the terrible start the Dodgers got off to.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of screaming and yelling in Los Angeles, but they're a half a game behind Arizona. 9 games over 500. A lot of teams go through it. Brewers are trying to claw their way out of one right now.
Yelich, that's in there, a base hit into right center field. He's going to take the big turn. He's going to have himself 2. 1-out double for Christian Yelich in the 6th.
And mistake pitch by Musgrove, and Yelich able to hit one hard into the gap. There you go. There's a start. 1-out double for Yelich. Breaking pitch right down the middle of the plate, and as soon as he let it go, I think he made a mistake with it. And by the time they scoop it up, Yelich is in scoring position. One of the treats of being at this ballpark or watching the Brewers every day, and I know I talk about it all the time, but watching Christian Yelich run the bases.
Yeah, it's a joy. I mean, he cuts those bags tight. There's no wasted space the way Christian Yelich runs out there. Here's Jesus Aguilar. Remember his last plate appearance, he was hit by a pitch in the left hand. That was 2 innings ago. And a chance to add to that RBI total. Only Eugenio Suarez and Javier Baez have more, and it's just by 1. Both of those guys was 71. Aguilar was 70. .24 home runs for Aguilar. Number 24 coming on Thursday night here in Pittsburgh.
Deepest part of the ballpark, left center. Knock one out of here.
A ball, a strike. There with the fastball. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. The 24 for Jesus leading the way. Travis Shaw hit number 18 here this afternoon. The 1 run so far. Thames, Yelich, and Braun rounding out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Aguilar down the counts, trying to pick up Christian Yelich. And that bounces up there and gets away from Diaz. Tying run now 90 feet away.
Now the at-bat changes for Jesus Aguilar. Just put it in play. He really wasn't able to square himself in front of that baseball. Kind of slow shifting over, and the Pirates bring the infield in. Kind of dangerous with this big fella at the plate. In on the grass.
Yeah, this is interesting. Let's see what Aguilar can do with it. A 2-2 count. Wild pitch number 60 this season for Pirates pitching. Here's the 2-2. Look out.
Look at Eddie. Yeah, those wild pitches, I'm not sure if that's an indictment on the pitchers or the catchers.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of both. That last one, you put that one on Diaz. Eddie Cedar, good reflexes. He still has it.
He's still bend. That's good. He leaves the rally chain off when he's out there working at third. Got to get this guy busy out here. 2-2 the count to Jesus Aguilar. Slider away from Musgrove. Big pitch coming up here with the infield in. Brewers down a run in the 6th. Aguilar extending this at bat.
Change-ups, breaking pitches, and really the only fastball that he threw to Jesus in this at bat was the first one. Fastball off the plate.
Travis Shaw, who homered in the second, waits on deck. Three and two to Jesus Aguilar. It's a piece as Musgrove went back to the fastball.
Another fastball out of the strike zone. Not willing to challenge him with a fastball in the zone, but trying to get him to chase.
Aguilar hitting .256 this season with runners in scoring position. He has Yelich at third here. And Jesus works Musgrove for a walk. They're at the corners with one away.
There's good discipline by Aguilar. If you're not going to throw him strikes, just take your walk. You don't really do your team any service by swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. You're not going to do much with them. Aguilar understands that. Leave it up to Shaw.
So a good threat again here for the Brewers. Down a run for Travis Shaw. Double from Yelich, advancing on a wild pitch. Aguilar working a walk from Musgrove. Let's go back to that second inning with Travis Shaw. Down and in. He likes that.
Yeah, changeup, knocked it out of here, waited back nicely and put in the seats. Gave the Brewers a 1-0 lead.
And 2 the count to Shaw. 18 homers. He's driven in 55 now. Activity now for the Brewers as Josh Hader gets loose.
Activity few and far between for Hader on this trip.
Two strikes to nothing to Shaw. And he pops this one up. Colin Moran is right there, and that will be out number 2. Big out for Joe Musgrove, and it's up to Tyler Saladino to try to tie this game. Saladino's day at the plate presented by Wendy's. A fly ball to center in the second inning and a single to right in the fourth. He is now 7 for 16 in this series as Saladino. He had 2-hit games before taking an 0-for in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday afternoon. Saw Hader warming up. It has not been the deal to put him into a game when the Brewers are behind, but the work has been limited, as Brock mentioned, of late for Josh. See if Saladino can at least tie the game, if not drive one to the gap and give the Crew the lead.
Chassin doesn't come out for the 6th. I mean, I think Craig Counsell is going to bring on Hader for a couple of innings. Normally, he doesn't want to bring Hader in when the Brewers are behind, but I think this is a special situation. All-Star break coming up. Brewers really in need of a victory. If it's not Chassin, yeah, Hader.
One strike pitch to Saladino in the air, left field. Get down. It does. Scoring is Yelich, and this game is tied as Tyler Saladino delivers with a 2-out RBI single.
Yeah, you can count on him on this road trip. I mean, in this series, he's been very good. Breaking pitch up. Made a mistake in Musgrove, and Saladino able to hit it hard into left. There it was, right down the middle it ended up, and Saladino did not miss it and ties it up. Well done, Tyler Saladino.
An 8-hit series for the Brewers shortstop. And now Hernan Perez at the plate. Lost his bat. I've seen that a fair amount this season. Hitters across baseball games we've seen in person where the bat just flies out of the hands.
Yeah, not sure how you can let it slip. Look at all the pine tar all over the handle. Yep, he'll pick it up. Yeah, that got a fair amount of pine tar, maybe the glue stick. They used to call it the tiger stick.
That's right. One strike and nothing to Perez, playing second here this afternoon. And he pops this one up. Jordy Mercer will call for it, and that'll do it here in the sixth. But the Brewers tie the game. RBI knock from Saladino, scoring Yelich. Move to the bottom of the sixth.
The first 20,000 fans for the matchup will take home a one-of-a-kind Ryan Braun starting lineup figurine courtesy of Impark. To lock in your seats, visit brewers.com.
Bottom of the sixth we go here in Pittsburgh. 2, 3, and 4 hitters, beginning with Starling Marte. Chacin remains on the mound for Milwaukee.
And Marte, then 2 of the next 3 hitters left-handed coming up for the Pirates.
Ground ball over to Travis Shaw. 1 out. So lefty coming up in Polanco. Thought could be the case. There will be a move made here. Double switch coming up for the Brewers. Pitcher spot due up third as we will move to the 7th inning. Good outing for Jhoulys Chacin. Only 1 hit for the Pirates. That was the 2-run homer off the bat of Corey Dickerson.
You know, 4 of the 5 starts for the Brewers in this series have been very good. The only one that was rough was the one for Junior Guerra on Friday.
Yeah.
But the Brewers and the offense kind of wasted 4 good starts.
They have, hoping not to waste one today. A tie game as Chacin will exit. Hader coming on. Brewers and Pirates. Pitching change here in inning number 6. Good day's work once again, Brock, for Yolis Chassin.
Yeah, bad starts for Chassin have been few and far between. He was excellent again today, locating fastball, getting some ground ball outs. The curveball was good. 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Earned run average for Chassin continues to be good, and he continues to have good success on the road this year.
Big part of his game. He's had a lot of opportunities, a lot of those starts. A lot of starts away from home, and makes good on it again here today as Josh Hader into the fray, lefty as he faces Gregory Polanco.
He only has had 1 appearance in 12 days. He last appeared in a game on Monday against the Marlins, gave up a couple of runs. Back-to-back home runs against Hader in an inning and 2/3.
Double switch. Brad Miller, the new second baseman. Miller will hit in the 9th spot of the order. That means he will hit 3rd in the 7th. And people wondered whether he was being overworked. Well,
yeah. Well, Craig Counsell bringing him in a tie game. He certainly doesn't really do that a whole lot unless it's really late in the game. But Brewers need a win today.
Good blow by fastball there, 2-1 the count.
And again, starting pitching for the Brewers in this series has been terrific.
We talked about it going into this series. The club making all these moves to get as many fresh arms as they can get in the bullpen. But the pitching, as you said, has been terrific. It's been scoring runs. That has been a real chore for this club in this losing skid, and specifically in the first 4 games of this series. Chassin again gives his team every chance to win a ball game. 2-2 the count to Polanco. And he got him. Climb the ladder a bit, and he gets Polanco swinging for out number 2.
And it came right back. He fell behind 2-0. You figured maybe command might be an issue. It was against the Marlins. All that time off, took him 2 pitches, able to put away Polanco.
Let's get more on Josh Hader as we check in again with Sophia.
Well, a pair of the Brewers' 5 All-Stars thrilled to be going to the All-Star game for the first time, and 2 of them so close to their hometowns. For Jeremy Jeffress, it's South Boston, Virginia, and for Josh Hader, it's even closer, just Millersville, Maryland. So for Hader, he said it's an honor to be going to the All-Star game, to be there with the best of the best, to be going with so many of his other teammates. So he said he's got probably 30 family and friends that he's expecting to come from the Millersville area who are excited to see him pitch in the All-Star game for the first time. And I asked him, I said, did you even think that this would be a possibility in just your first full season? He said, no, I really didn't think so, but I've really put in the work in the offseason to turn myself into a better pitcher. And Matt and Rock, I would say those numbers have worked out pretty well for Hader.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever he's doing, keep doing it, right?
He wasn't bad last year, for that matter.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't have far to go to become an all-star, based on what he was able to do a year ago out of the bullpen.
Such a valuable piece. You can use him in different ways. Brad, use him here in the 6th. You can bring him in later in the game.
Give him a couple innings here today and bring in Jeffress and Hader and leave town with a win.
2-1 the count to Elias Diaz. Bases empty in inning number 6. Check swing, and that's going to stay fair, and putting it away is Jesus Aguilar. And Josh Hader continues to do what the all-star reliever's been doing pretty much all year. Still tied after 6. cuts through the hype. And speak for yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central only on FS1. 2-2 ball game. Some good pitching here this afternoon. Joe Musgrove and Yolis Chassin. Josh Hader getting the final 2 outs in the 6th. It's hard to come by both sides. Brewers did tie the game in the 6th. Tyler Saladino, an RBI knock on a warm and humid day. Threat of rain, but so far so good. Good old summertime weather here in Pittsburgh this weekend. Brett Phillips will lead things off. Phillips, Kratz, and Brad Miller in the 7th. Phillips is grounded into a double play. He's struck out in the 5th. There's a couple of hits in his brief time with the Brewers this season. Stint number 3 for Phillips. The 2-strike pitch. Able to hold up. Carlos Torres, the third base umpire.
Yeah, it's been, Keon Broxton's been getting some opportunities up here. He's still with the ball club. Phillips, getting a chance, and still no Domingo Santana. I haven't seen him since he's been sent down.
Ground ball to Josh Bell, and the feed to Musgrove for out number 1.
Yeah, pretty good play by Musgrove. Not a very good throw by Bell. Able to grab it down the line, and look at the low throw, but handled nicely by Musgrove at first base. Phil's busting it down that line.
And Santana still trying to get things squared away. He's played 15 games with the Sky Sox. Batting average still pretty low for him at this point down there at 235. But you know what he could do when he is in a groove, and the big numbers last year, the power.
They just couldn't get it going this year, even in spring training.
Eric Kratz waving and not getting a Musgrove slider.
So basically the Brewers, with all this, are without 2 of the guys they were counting on heavily going into the season, Domingo Santana and Orlando Arcia.
Ball a strike to Kratz. Line to third and grounded to third. Musgrove getting a lot of ground balls. It's not been a huge part of his game. His ground ball rate about 45% coming into this matchup. Bears back and lets one fly at 95. He, along with Michael Feliz and Colin Moran, and a minor leaguer coming over to the Pirates from the Astros for Garrett Cole. The 1-2 off the glove, and then off the glove of Moroff. That's a base hit for Eric Kratz.
Once that ball hit the dirt, it was going to be a tough hop for Moroff to handle. It'll be a base hit for Kratz. And not a bad defender, but Josh Harrison probably a guy that the Pirates would rather have out there, but not sure what happened to him. Any word on Harrison?
No, not that we haven't received anything.
Picked that ball right off the ground at Kratz.
4th hit of the series for Kratz. Now Brad Miller gets a chance. Came in as part of the double switch in the bottom of the 6th inning. As a Brewer, Miller has homered a couple of times in 20 games. Had the 30 homer season a couple of years ago with the Rays. Came over a bit more than a month ago from that organization for G-Man Choi. 1-strike pitch.
Yeah, first one right at the bottom of the strike zone. That one right on the outside corner.
Couple of home runs. He has driven in 8. This season as a Ray, Miller had 5 homers. That was over 48 games. Drove in 21. Brewers with 5 hits. Pirates with just 1. Miller a swing and a miss for out number 2.
Pulled the string on him with the changeup. Got ahead of him with a couple of fastballs. There's a changeup.
Two men out as the lineup will turn over. Four strikeouts for Joe Musgrove this afternoon. He's had 3 other starts where he has gone 7 innings. In fact, late June against the Padres, 7 innings of 7 hits shutout ball.
Yeah, he's been real good. You take away 1 bad stretch, 2 starts back to back where he gave up 11 runs in 8 innings. Other than that, pretty solid work.
A 1 pitch to Kane. Pirates bullpen is quiet. Kratz the runner at first. Mixing it up here with Kane now ahead of all 2 strikes. One and 2. Musgrove against Lorenzo Kane. And Kane reaches out and sends one into right field. Polanco for out number 3. Infield hit. Brewers do nothing with it. Kratz left stranded. Stretch time here in Pittsburgh as the Pirates and the Buccos in a good one. Brewers and the Buccos in a good one. We are tied at 2, and we will keep it here on this nice warm Sunday afternoon to honor America with God Bless America.
Here and abroad. Today, the Pirates and Sport Clips welcome from the United States Air Force Chief Master Sergeant John Lee. A member of the 911th Air Wing Base, Chief Lee has been deployed 7 times in his 24-year career and awarded commendations from the Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy, and British Royal Army. We are honored that he represents our city, grateful for his service, and pleased to welcome him and his family here to PNC Park. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is Lauren Mininock.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Here in Pittsburgh, Pirates with just the one hit. Corey Dickerson, a 2-run homer. Josh Hader stays on the mound, and among young pitchers under 26 years old, Hader has pretty good company with all those punch outs. Pitchers without starting assignments. He's coming out of the bullpen. Josh Hader, part of the list of the best of the best. Multiple innings, just part of the deal as well for Hader.
Yeah, we're basically, what, halfway done, a little over halfway done, so he's got a lot of work to do rest of the way.
Faces Colin Moran leading off here in the 7th inning for the Pirates. By the way, the word on Josh Harrison, Max Moroff came in for him a couple innings ago. Harrison has a hamstring injury. That's why his day is done. Moroff will hit 3rd in the inning. Talked about the Brewers injuries. Clint Hurdle has had to deal with a few of his own with his ball club. Moran has popped out. He is grounded to 2nd.
Every team's been dealing with injuries. I think, you know, teams are using that 10-day disabled list a little bit different than they were using the 15-day, but I don't know how many teams have actually had 10 guys on the disabled list all at the same time.
It's a lot. A ball, 2 strikes to Moran, and there's a punch out for Josh Hader, and that's the 2nd in 3 hitters he has faced.
Yep, here it is, hit it, the fastball. Check it out, up in the zone, and yeah, good luck to you with that pitch. Up there to a lefty, tough duty.
Eric Johnson, very highly respected Brewers pitching coach. Josh Bell at the plate. Lined out the center. A nice running grab by Kane in the 2nd inning, and a fly ball to Kane a couple of innings later. Bell hits .286 from the right side, the switch hitting first baseman. A rather limited number of at-bats. This is the 78th for him for that side of the plate. The power that he has, which has not been near last year's level, but all the home runs, all 5, have come from the left side. A ball, 2 strikes. Lee Chassin with the first 5 of the 3rd. Well, the 25-year-old, he was a second-round pick by the Pirates 7 years ago. Homer 26 times, drove in 90 last season. 1-2. And another strikeout for Josh Hader. That's 3 of them.
This time the slider lifted up a little bit, but yeah, it was the speed and the wrinkle that fooled Bell. Outside corner. Well, if you're going to leave it up, not a bad spot. Right on the outside corner. Good pitch.
2 up, 2 down in the 7th inning. Another switch hitter, Max Moroff. Hader pours a fastball for strike 1. Moroff got involved in that home run parade for the Pirates yesterday. Opened up the scoring in game 2 yesterday afternoon with a solo shot. Josh Hader getting the jump on the second baseman. 2 strikes and nothing. He's faced 4 hitters. He has struck out 3 of them. The 0-2 pitch. Just off the edge. Brewers will have 2, 3, and 4 in the order coming up in the 8th inning. Now the 1-2. He strikes out the side. Josh Hader once again going to work as he takes care first of Colin Moran, then Josh Bell, and a strikeout of Max Moroff to keep this game tied at 2. All right, Daria, thank you very much. And that's part of the fun of this game. We can all try to guess along as to what might end up of Manny Machado. Christian Yelich leading things off here for the Brewers in the 8th inning.
They don't want to have him get hurt. That would kind of ruin their plans a little bit.
That would alter things. So
run him out there in the wet ground and pull a hamstring. So much for the trade.
Yeah, that's a team's nightmare right there. When in doubt, get him out. Yelich with a bouncer that gets through, a base hit. Second of the day for Yelich. That's how the 8th inning starts for Milwaukee.
Well, still no activity in that Pirates bullpen. All the bullpen usage so far in this series. Clinton Hurdle is going to stick with his starter. 8th inning here. Pitch count's still in decent shape for him. Good start to the 8th for the Brewers. And just now activity starting out there in center field.
There you go. Little movement down there as Jesus Aguilar steps to the plate. 7 has been the max for Musgrove this season, 7 innings. See the pitch count at 92. He needed 100 in a 7-inning outing against the Cubs at the end of May. That was his second big league start, coming off 4 rehab appearances at the beginning of the season. Two balls, no strikes to Aguilar.
Apparently just a little bit low.
Musgrove missing again. This inning off to an interesting start here for the Brewers. Musgrove has issued a couple of walks here so far. 1 plus a hit batsman, I should say. 3-0 pitch on the way. And there's a walk to Aguilar. Second time he has drawn a walk, and they're at first and second to begin the 8th inning.
Hey, today's hammer of the game winner, Dad's Detour in Glenwood City. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, Dad's Detour.
Like it.
I'm going to head to the grocery store, but I'm going to make a detour over to Dad's.
Dad's.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute.
Works every time. It's all about strategy.
Yeah.
Ray Sears, the pitching coach, with a chat as their starting pitcher Joe Musgrove trying to push through the 8th inning here.
I remember my granddad always told my grandmother he got stopped by a train.
Yeah.
Train crossing, you know, he was sitting there for about a half an hour. Of course, he really wasn't stopped by a train. He was over at a place called Dad's or something along those lines.
Long train, you know, got impatient. That line would never end.
Little detour.
How long did that act work, I wonder?
Long time, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of train activity in Jersey.
All right, Brewers have him at first and second, nobody out. And Travis Shaw at the plate. And a fly ball hit back into left field, but room for Corey Dickerson out number 1. Tagging is Yelich, and he'll get to third. There you go. Yelich now represents the go-ahead run 90 feet away, 1 out.
Travis picking on the first pitch. That pitch going away from him, and he went with it. It's just hard to hit him to the opposite field in this ballpark, but Yelich recognizing he's going to catch it, and with his speed makes it into third easily. And one of the hottest hitters the Brewers have had in this series coming up.
And that hot hitter is Tyler Saladino. He has had 4 two-hit games in this 5-game series. RBI single in the 6th tied this game, and now he has a chance to give his team the lead. Pirates looking for the ground ball here.
And Musgrove has got a lot of ground balls today. Most of them to third base.
One strike pitch coming to Tyler Saladino. Tried to burn the corner, but he missed. 25-year-old pitching well here today. 3-4 is his record. Joe Musgrove. 7-8 with the Astros a year ago.
And last time up, Musgrove hung a slider to Saladino, where he hit a line drive in the left for an RBI. Staying hard in on his hands in this at bat.
A ball, 2 strikes. Yelich started the inning with a single. He's now at third. Aguilar with a walk, the runner at first. Brewers trying to punch ahead here and play with the lead. That has been rare in this series. And that is a called third strike, bottom of the zone, and that is the second out of the inning.
Well, we've seen a lot of that in this series. Runners in scoring position and called strike threes. That's a huge out, to say the least. Yep, too close to take with 2 strikes. Right at the bottom of the zone.
So 2 men out. Nate Orf will come on as a pinch hitter. Pitcher's spot was due up. So now Orf in a big spot. Third at bat in the series for Orf. Called yesterday once again from Colorado Springs. Stint number 3 for Orf.
And Moran, the third baseman, playing in with the bag, thinking maybe Orf might drop one down. Good speed at third base. Maybe Orf bunt for a base hit.
The 1-0. This with the slider. The Brewers trying to find a way. We got Orf at the plate, Phillips on deck.
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
There's something coming apparently from the Brewers dugout there, but we will play on.
Might have been Saladino. Got rung up on a pitch low in the zone.
Orf has taken 3 straight outside the strike zone.
I will say this for the umpiring crew in this series. They have given the guys a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of leash in barking about balls and strikes.
Yeah, they had Brad Miller yesterday.
Yeah.
Saladino gets a little space here today. 3-0 the count to Nate Orf. Take it all the way. No doubt a type of moment that Nate Orf dreaming of here. Fought long and hard to get to the big leagues, getting his first taste of it this season. His 11th game as a Brewer. And he takes ball 4, and they are loaded.
Yeah, you wonder if Clint Hurdle is going to make a move here, or is he going to let his pitcher get himself out of this jam? You do have a pitcher ready down in that bullpen. You know, pitch count at only 105. I think he's going to stick with him.
This is the deepest Musgrove has worked in a game this season. And now he will face Brett Phillips. Bases loaded with 2 men out. Getting late in a tie game. And Phillips sends one into right center field, and that's to the gap and to the wall. Yelich is in. Aguilar's in. Here comes Orth, and it's a 3-run triple for Brett Phillips to give the Brewers the lead.
No, that's got to feel good for Phillips. Good for him. Brewers finally able to cash in with the bases loaded in the series. And boy, did the Brewers need that. My goodness. A long time coming. Brewers able to get that crooked number. Breaking pitch down the middle, and Phillips centers on it, rips it into the gap. The Brewers had really good speed on the bases, and Brett Phillips clears them. A 3-run triple. A little bobble out there in right field, but it didn't matter. And the Brewers have a 4-1 lead.
The beauty of the game, you never know who's going to deliver. It's Phillips today in the 8th. Then he continues, and Brett Phillips rocked with the big blow.
And no kidding. I mean, one pitch too late. Clint Hurdle sticking with Musgrove, and Phillips empties the bases on a 2-out triple. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game.
Richard Rodriguez on in relief, and Eric Kratz sends one in the air to shallow center. Marte the catch, and the inning is over. Big time frame for the Brew Crew as Brett Phillips with the bases clearing triple. Get fired up, Brett. Brett, you're up by 3. All right, Daria, thank you very much. Brett Phillips clears the bases. 3-run triple to give his team the lead. Big time moment. Young man just called back up to the big club from Colorado Springs. Jordy Mercer leads things off for the Pirates. And new pitcher on the mound for the Brew Crew, Jeremy Jeffress.
Yeah, we saw him in yesterday's game 2. A scoreless inning. Actually gave up a run in an inning of work. Couple of strikeouts for Jeremy. Overall 117 earned run average in game number 46. Jeremy's been unscored upon in 40 of 45 appearances this year. Not bad.
One All-Star follows another out of the Milwaukee bullpen. Hader an inning and a third. Or an inning and 2/3. He struck out 4, and Jeffress gets himself a punch out as he takes care of Jordy Mercer.
Comes in throwing strikes and able to get Mercer on the curveball. Good pitch. Not exactly the greatest of locations, but that was the speed and movement that got him. Boy, how good has he been? My goodness. That's what the Brewers need. You know, lead late. Hader, Jeffress, Knable. That hasn't failed too often this year.
Jordan Luplow will pinch hit. His first career multi-homer game yesterday. He will loft one out today to Lorenzo Cain. Out number 2.
Didn't even have to move. I thought for a second he didn't see it. Boy.
2 up, 2 down. Jeffress glares in as he'll face Corey Dickerson. I love watching the look on Jeffress's face when he's out there competing.
And all business.
It really is.
All business. He's such a good-natured guy, you know, before the game, after the game. But boy, when he gets on that mound in the game, look out.
Just one hit for the Pirates today that came from Dickerson. Check out Jeffress. That's a mild look.
Yeah.
Dickerson's 2-run homer in the 3rd. That has been the offense for Pittsburgh.
Not sure where that last one missed. Nick Lentz has not made too many friends back there today.
No, he has not. Here's an idea of the glare. A ball, a strike.
That's the mild glare. He has a different glare when he's got men on base.
Yeah, when he's inheriting a mess, that's when you really get a good look. Starts this bottom of the 8th inning for the Brew Crew. 2-1 the count to Dickerson. And that is ripped into right field, and that's trouble. That's going to get to the wall into the corner as Phillips will run it down. Dickerson with a 2-out double.
Yeah, that curveball down and into that guy, not a good idea. Yeah, the home run that he hit off of Chassin was very similar. Down and in, curveball. Ripped that one out of the ballpark and able to double down the right field line on a curveball. Same exact location pretty much. Lefties like it down there. That's Travis Shaw's hot zone.
Starling Marte will get an opportunity. Both hits today for the Pirates coming from Corey Dickerson. Three other Pirates have reached. Gregory Polanco and Joe Musgrove on errors. Jordy Mercer was hit by a pitch. Quiet so far for Marte, who has been anything but lately and has been anything but against the Brewers. Some big numbers against Milwaukee in his career. Pepper struck out Mercer, got Luplow to fly to center before Dickerson's double. "13 homers, 43 RBIs for Marte. 11-game hitting streak on the line for the center fielder. And on the hands and under the glove of Aguilar. Dickerson will score as the Pirates pull within 2.
Yeah, a little jam shot just out of the reach of Aguilar. Just couldn't get down and grab it. Not sure he'd be able to get an out on it anyway. Probably would have been a base hit. Just eats him up inside, but he beats the shift. You can see Aguilar where he is. I'm not sure they get an out anyway, even if he grabs it.
The Pirates starting to fight back. Craig Counsell making his way to the mound for a team meeting. It will be a pitching change. Knabel's been getting loose. 2 outs, but the tying run will be coming to the plate. Knabel trying to close the door for the Brew Crew. But then a Corey Dickerson double, run scoring single from Starling Marte, and it's now a 2-run game. So Corey Knabel is on.
Yeah, last pitched on Wednesday against the Marlins, and I'll say scoreless inning, gave up a hit, a strikeout. Has given up only 3 runs in his last 13 2/3 innings. That covers 15 appearances. And look for save number 12 on the season. He's 11 for 13 so far.
Facing Gregory Polanco. The Pittsburgh Pirates, a rare occasion in this series playing from behind, but they're not done yet. Polanco was reached on an error, grounded to first, and he struck out his last at bat in the 6th. Marte is on the move, and he'll draw no throw. Polanco with 16 homers. He's driven in 51. Curveball missing. 2-homer day yesterday for Polanco. He and Marte went back-to-back, both ends of the doubleheader. 2-0 pitch on the way. A good rip. Good fastball from Knebel.
Yeah, career Gregory Polanco 3 for 9 against Corey Knebel. So decent success for Polanco against Corey.
Council making the move here in this 8th inning with 2 men out. Knebel was the Brewers' lone all-star rep last year. There'll be 5 of them this year. Here's the 2-1. A little low with the fastball. The catcher Diaz is on deck. There's 3 hits for the Pirates, 2 of them in this 8th inning. Hitters count for Gregory Polanco. And he looks at ball 4. Tying run at first.
And last pitch pretty close. Tyler Saladino out there saying, where was that call for me? I'm not sure Polanco was sure it was a ball.
Knebel will work against Elias Diaz. Fly to center, a strikeout, and a ground ball to first for the Pittsburgh catcher. Brewers grab the lead in the top half of this inning. A bases clearing triple from Brett Phillips.
Infield way back for Diaz here. I mean, Travis Shaw at third base got his heels basically on the grass.
We'll have a mound visit to get things organized. Run here in the 8th inning for the Pirates.
Man, with the infield back like that, you got to be alive for this double steal. Well, if you're Eric Kratz and you see them both take off, although Polanco is going to get a pretty big lead and jump, second base might be where you want to throw it. It's going to take a while for Shaw to get to third base.
Marte the lead runner right now. Diaz attacking the first pitch.
And you got to get the curveball over to this guy. I mean, he can take a hack on a fastball.
So good ability at the plate. Coming in for the injured Francisco Cervelli. A little better than a 300 hitter when he gets a starting assignment, as he has today. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Another fastball fouled away.
Yeah, Diaz 0 for 3 against Knebel.
Two strikes and nothing. Couple of fastballs has Knebel ahead in the count. Has that nasty curveball when he's right. The 0-2. On the ground, Miller get it out of the glove. He does to Saladino, and the inning is over. Well, the Pirates pick up a run. Knebel shuts the door from there. We move to the 9th. It's 5-3 Brew Crew. A lot going on in the 8th inning. A Brett Phillips 3-run triple. Pirates push a run across in the bottom half. 2-run lead for Milwaukee as we head to the 9th inning here in Pittsburgh. And Steven Brault now on the mound for the Pirates.
First time we've seen him. He's the only reliever that we haven't seen up until this point. Big earned run average over 5, and he's 5-2 though. 28th appearance for Brault, one of 2 left-handers down in that bullpen. Closer Vasquez, the other one. We've seen plenty of him, Vasquez.
Yeah, Brault has been really struggling of late. A little insurance would be sweet if the Brewers can get it. It's 9-1-2 in the Milwaukee batting order, as Brault will work against Brad Miller. Brault making the move from the starting rotation to the bullpen. He has been touched up more than a little bit here in the last couple of weeks for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ahead of Miller 0-2.
Yeah, gave up 3 runs on Tuesday night in a third of an inning against the Nationals. He's given up runs in 4 of his last 6 games. That's why you haven't seen him.
It was last year's organizational pitcher of the year, minor league pitcher of the year. Good work in the International League, AAA Indianapolis, and he gets Miller on a strikeout to start the 9th inning.
Interesting in notes that, Brault, he sang the national anthem here against the Brewers at PNC back in June.
Talented guy, huh?
How about that?
Yeah, it's impressive. Were you never asked to do that?
No, and I hope I never am, for the fans' sake.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, and that goes right through Colin Moran. Cain is on, big turn, digging for 2, and he is there. That'll be an error on Moran. He's been a busy guy today, has handled everything until now.
It'd be nice to get that run back. Yeah, the Pirates able to pick up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pretty easy play on the backhand. He just lifted the glove. The ball stayed down, and Cain hustling around first gets into scoring position. Those long strides, effortless into second base.
Cain on for the first time today. Here's Christian Yelich. A double in the 6th, and he started the 8th inning with a single. Cain is running. Diaz, big arm, throw to third in time. We saw that arm on display here this weekend, and we see it again from Elias Diaz.
Yeah, he threw out Keon Broxton in this series from his knees. Got him at second base.
Brewers making sure.
Cain seems to think he's safe. He hasn't budged from third base. Ball beat him. But does he get him? That big call. Why not? Have him look at it.
We'll have our first review of the day. We talked during this series the number of errors that Diaz has, but he has a terrific throwing arm.
I don't know.
It's close.
Yeah, it is close. Cain thinks he's safe. Calls timeout very, very quickly to try to coerce the umpire to call him safe. And when he first saw it, it looked like he was out easily, but yeah, a little bit closer on that last replay. But is there enough? They have been overturning these things too much lately.
No, they have not. We'll need the clear evidence. Otherwise, Cain will be making a return jog to the dugout.
Yeah, Lorenzo did a good job sliding to the outfield side of third base, making that tag a little bit longer.
taking a little bit of time here. Well, it's a big review. Brewers love to push that lead up another run at least here in the 8th. Or the 9th, I should say.
Yeah, that angle right there, you really can't tell if the tag is made before the hand comes in. It's this one here that looks like he might be safe. That's a heck of a tag.
And he is out.
Yeah. They're not overturning him.
Call stands. And the bases are now empty with 2 away. 0-1 the count to Christian Yelich. Roll, 26 years old. Drafted by the Orioles 5 years ago. Ahead in the count, a ball, 2 strikes. Moran, Bell, and Moroff, the scheduled hitters for Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's a base hit for Yelich. His 3rd hit of the day.
That's just a nice swing, isn't it? I mean, most of his hits on this road trip have come center field to left field line. That's how he's been staying on the baseball. And slider down and away. Look at the way he stays on it. Just kind of punches it out there. And another base hit for Christian. Covers home plate so well, doesn't he? Inside, outside, when he's going good.
A fun player to watch.
Doesn't matter who's pitching. When he's going well, I mean, nobody gets him out.
Here's Jesus Aguilar. And on base 3 times today.
Been careful with Aguilar, haven't they? And particularly today, yesterday.
Yeah, walked yesterday in the 2nd game of the doubleheader. Walked twice today. Was hit by a pitch. A fly ball to right field. Polanco. That'll do it in the 9th for Milwaukee. Brewers trying to close this one out, have a happy flight home. They lead by 2 as we move to the bottom of inning number 9. last highlight, the shot of the day for the Brewers. 3-run triple from Brett Phillips, a 5-3 lead for Milwaukee. Closing time for the Brew Crew as Corey Knebel looking to lock this one down. Face Colin Moran. A pop up, a ground ball, and a strikeout from the Pittsburgh third baseman. Knebel finished off the 8th inning. The 1-0 pitch. Back up the middle and through, a base hit. And the tying run will come to the plate.
That fastball right down the middle. Moran able to bang it right back through the box. Tying run to the plate. And pretty good piece of hitting, pulling the hands in, shooting it right back at Knebel. Pirates aren't going away easy.
Yeah, those bats are heating up. They had but one hit through the first 7 innings. And now Josh Bell steps in. Bell 1 for 8 in his career against Knebel. And he lands the curveball for strike 1.
And the first 3 hitters Knebel is going to face are going to be batting left-handed. Moran a lefty, 2 switch hitters.
And Max Moroff is next. Corey loads up with a 1-strike pitch.
Hasn't been able to land that curveball yet for strikes. Threw one last inning. Such an important pitch for him.
The 1-1. This with a fastball. Brewers trying to salvage a game in this series. There's something to feel good about heading into the All-Star break. Been a tough trip, to say the least. 2 balls, 1 strike to Josh Bell. Another miss on a fastball. Hitters count for the Pittsburgh first baseman. He has 5 hits in the series, does Bell.
And look out here, 3-1 fastball to Josh Bell. Dangerous pitch.
Here comes that 3-1 pitch. A wave and a miss on a fastball away.
Not even close to the strike. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can take advantage of it. That was way off the corner.
Max Moroff, who homered yesterday, is on deck. Payoff pitch coming to Josh Bell. Into left field. That's down. First 2 on for the Pirates in the 9th inning.
Well, hadn't thrown a curveball in the inning. Fastball up, and Bell able to get on top of it because he's not really thinking about the curveball too much. Corey hadn't thrown one. Doesn't matter how hard a guy throws, if that's all he's throwing, these hitters are going to be able to square him up.
Derek Johnson making his way out there for a chat. Moran a single, Bell a single, and the Pirates are mounting a 9th inning threat.
Yep, let's see if Moroff's up there to bunt. We'll see. Not a whole lot of it these days with the position players.
Next one would be his first one. Matter of fact, with the current roster for the Pirates, the only position player to lay down a sacrifice bunt is Josh Harrison.
I just don't see him. Not many teams use it anymore with their position players.
Yeah, it's the theory you don't want to give up the outs. We'll see how they play it. Shaw creeping in a bit, just inside the bag at third. Likewise, Aguilar at first.
Trying to keep him close. Maybe not get a good jump in the event they do bunt.
Trouble for Corey Knebel here in the 9th inning. Showing no signs of bunting here as a curveball misses. Off with 3 homers. He has driven in 8. 2 of the 3 coming from the right side of the plate. The 1-0. Back to the fastball. Brewers grab the lead in the 8th inning. Trying to make that big triple from Brett Phillips hold up. Break even pitch. Good hack at it.
Yeah, look where that ended up. Right down Main Street. 96. More off right on it. Fouls it straight back. Let's see if Knebel tries to put him away with a curve. Get it down in the zone, maybe chase it.
Jordy Mercer is on deck. The 1-2 pitch. There was that curve, and just getting a piece is more off.
Kind of put in his head anyway. Kind of a check swing, just kind of punched at it.
Moran the runner at second. Josh Bell at first. 1-2 pitch again. And holds up on the curveball.
That's where you want it, down there. Yep, he held.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Moroff came in earlier in this game in the 6th inning for Josh Harrison, who's out with a hamstring injury. 2-2 pitch. Fastball low. Eleven saves and 13 opportunities for Corey Knebel. And here comes the 3-2. And he lost him. Missed outside. They're loaded with nobody out. Pirates had a run in the 8th. They cut it to 2. And a serious threat to come from behind in dramatic fashion this afternoon. Jordy Mercer steps in. 5-hit series for him. The big night on Friday. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th. He is fly to left and struck out.
Throwing hard, but the Pirates have been able to get a piece of it. That one outer half. Well, if he's got a ground ball pitch in his back pocket, this would be a good time for it. A little comebacker.
Oh, and 1 to the Pirates shortstop. Ground ball, Shaw. There's 1 to Miller and a double play to Aguilar. They'll trade the run to get the outs. Tying run moves to third. We have 2 away in the 9th in a 1-run game.
Well, that's a heck of a play by Travis Shaw. Remember, he's got that bad ankle. Yeah, mobility not all that great. He got the ground ball. Travis able to get it in a hole and start the double play. Tremendous effort by Shaw. Good feed over to Miller. And you're right, they'll trade that run for 2 outs any day.
Able 1 out away from notching his 12th save. Giving the Brew Crew a pick-me-up victory here in Pittsburgh. David Freese will come on. The pinch hit. Had a couple of hits yesterday. In the second game of the doubleheader. Drove in a run. Josh Bell, the tying run. He's at third.
Yeah, David Freese 1 for 5 against Corey Knebel in his career.
Corey just burned the corner for strike 1. You see 4 punch outs. That's how Knebel has retired Freese when they have matched up.
Be careful with the curveball here, particularly if you leave it up, because David Freese uses the opposite field extremely well. He's very good power to right field. You can get him with good fastballs in on his hands, but don't leave it out over the plate.
Freese with 5 homers. He's driven in 24. Knebel gets ready for the 1-strike pitch. Make it 0-2.
If you throw the curveball, you want to bounce it. Eric Kratz got to block it. See if he tries to elevate the fastball, see if he'll chase it.
Yep.
That's a pretty good option. Throw it up around the neck.
2 strikes and nothing to David Freese. Tying run 90 feet away. The 0-2. Look out.
A little too close to the neck. He took me literally.
He did. Neck high, not literally hitting him in the neck.
Yeah, not at the neck.
1-2. In the air, right center field, and it's off the wall. The game is tied. Freese still going around second, on his way to third, and this game is tied at 5 as he just missed ending it.
Well, he just got done saying, right, he likes the opposite field. He has power in that direction. And that one a little bit too low. That was hitting speed for, or hitting location for David Freese, out away from him. You're going to throw the fastball, got to be in. It's got to be up, not there. He almost knocked it out of here, but he did tie it up.
And now the winning run 90 feet away. Corey Dickerson, who's homered and doubled to the plate. Pirates with a late rally. Brewers took a 5-2 lead in the 8th. A run in the 8th for Pittsburgh and 2 in the 9th to tie it. Here's the 1-0.
Best curveball he's thrown right there. Had some good snap on it.
Ball a strike to Dickerson. 2-run homer in the 3rd. A double in the 8th. It started a 2-out rally for Pittsburgh, pushing across a run. Low by fastball.
That's where you want him, up there. That's where you want to throw it to David Freese. Up there, 97, hard to get to.
One scoring triple from Freese has tied this game. 1-2 the count to the left fielder Dickerson. Abel pumps another fastball in there. Shaw, Saladino, and a pinch hitter if the Brewers can push this game to the 10th inning. Again, the 1-2. Ground ball to Miller. Gobbles it up. Let's play 10. Pirates with a 2-run 9th inning. And we are tied at 5 as we go to extras in Pittsburgh. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of Extra Innings. A 5-5 game here in Pittsburgh as the Pirates with a late rally. A blown save for Corey Knebel. New pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. How new? He's not even in the notes. His name is Tanner Anderson. And he is on now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 25-year-old out of Boynton Beach, California. A Harvard guy, another Ivy Leaguer.
Yeah, Pirates must have made a transaction they didn't tell anybody about.
Snuck him in there.
We'll try and get some information on him. Pirates apparently don't have anything on him.
Well, I'm looking it up right now, Rock, and
Yeah.
it's an encouraging trend here for the Brewers. Taking a look at it right now. His one appearance didn't go well. He'll face Travis Shaw to lead things off. He has had one outing, a couple of innings, and got tagged for 5 earned runs. That was against the Dodgers on July 2nd in LA. They put him in at the end of a blowout game. Or actually the middle of a blowout game, a game that the Dodgers won 17-1. Two balls, one strike to Travis Shaw. This is research on the fly, folks.
Yeah.
Like spring training right now.
What's his first name again?
What's that?
What's his first name again?
Tanner.
Tanner?
Tanner Anderson. 3 balls, 1 strike to Travis Shaw. The Pirates digging deep into their bullpen. Remember, Vasquez has had so much work, and a walk to Shaw to start the 10th inning. There you go.
Yeah, Brewers got to jump off the mat here in the 10th inning.
Here's Tyler Saladino. Another 2-hit day in this series for Saladino. He's had 4 of them in the 5 games. Struck out his last at bat in the 8th inning. And he lays one down, and that's going to work. There's a sac bunt by a position player for out number 1. Go ahead run now in scoring position for Milwaukee.
That pitcher spot coming up is going to be Keon Broxton. Nice bunt by Tyler Saladino. You don't see this too often, but you know, lays it down beautifully. Able to get Travis Shaw in a scoring position.
So with Broxton pinch hitting, the 1 position player remaining is the backup catcher Jacob Nottingham. 3rd extra inning game of the road trip for the Brewers. Had a couple of them in Miami, trying to get one to go their way here today in Pittsburgh. One-time member of the Pirates organization, Keon Broxton at the plate. Brett Phillips had a key hit, critical hit in the 8th inning. Let's see if Broxton. The hits have been few and far between. Chance to pick up Travis Shaw. Breaking ball misses, 2-0 the count.
And it's going to take an extra base hit, a long single to score Shaw. Not running all that well right now.
Lead-off walk for Shaw, advancing on the bunt from Saladino. As Anderson misses away with a fastball. Pirates bullpen is quiet. (3-0) to Keon Broxton. Taken all the way. Joe Musgrove started, went 7 2/3, pitched well, then gave up the 3-run triple to Phillips. Rodriguez and Brault worked out of the bullpen. And now Anderson's turn, and he works Broxton to a full count.
Yeah, basically fastball, curveball. He'll throw a changeup every now and again, but not too often. It's been all fastballs so far.
There is Brett. He waits on deck. Full count to Broxton. The payoff. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Let's go back to the 8th inning in a tie game. Phillips smacks one into the gap with the bases loaded.
At the time it looked like it was going to be a game winner, but Brewers bullpen not able to hold the lead. One of the few times this year that you could say that. First pitch, breaking pitch, and he rifles one into the gap.
And Ray Searage back out there. Settle his young pitcher. A series like this, 5 games in 4 days, the bullpens can be taxed, and that certainly has been the case with the Pirates They've gotten 3 saves out of Felipe Vasquez in this series. Walks to Shaw and Broxton as the Brewers in business for Phillips. He did it once. Can he do it again? And the answer is yes. A base hit to center. Here comes Shaw. The throw from Marte goes into second, and the Brewers take the lead. Brett Phillips again.
How about the kid, huh? Man, first pitch both times. This time a fastball. He hits a bullet out of the reach of Jordy Mercer. And Travis Shaw indeed is able to score on the base hit. Right down the middle, and Phillips does a good job going right with it. You can see the shift. They had Mercer up the middle, and the Brewers retake the lead.
How about that?
Yeah, good for him. Shows up here, what, noon?
Yeah. Had a good night last night, a 2-hit night, drove in 3 for the Sky Sox. He has driven in 4 today for the Brew Crew. Here's Eric Kratz. And with that, extra innings at the end of a long series, it's starting to rain now in Pittsburgh.
Super.
So we got that going for us, which is nice.
You know, I smelled it before I saw it.
Yeah.
You just smell the rain in the air.
How's your elbow?
Elbow's aching
That's
bad.
not good.
Yeah, it's normally a soaking rain.
If the Pirates would have only cooperated and gone down quietly in the 9th inning, but no.
No.
Kratz an infield single in the 7th inning. Lots of speed on the bases now with Broxton at second and Phillips at first. Kratz is 4 for 12 in this series. Anderson with a 2-1. Bouncing ball to Moran. There's one and a double play. The Brewers get a run across. Brett Phillips again. And the Brewers again will try to close this one out. They lead it 6-5. Scoring single in the 10th. Let's see if it holds up this time. Save opportunity. It would be the first in the career, big league career for Taylor Williams.
Well, he's been good in just about every other spot that Craig Counsell has put him in. It's a little different, though. The line of last defense, last pitched yesterday in game 1, retired the only 2 batters that he faced. Has been unscored upon in his last 6 appearances. Let's make it 7.
Well, last 24 hours for Brett Phillips. The Sky Sox yesterday got into Pittsburgh a few hours ago. And he has driven in 4 runs for the Brewers here this afternoon. 2, 3, and 4 in the Pirates batting order. It starts with Starling Marte. Williams missing with a slider.
Yeah, the good fastball, the slider. Slider's been a good pitch for him.
Scoring single for Marte in the 8th inning. Another good start for Yoeli Chassin. 5 1/3, gave up just 1 hit. That was the 2-run homer from Corey Dickerson. Hader an inning and 2/3. He struck out 4. Jeffress and Knebel giving up runs. Jeffress 1 in the 8th and Knebel 2 in the 9th. Now Williams still trying to find the strike zone.
Yeah, a couple of sliders and a fastball.
Rio pitch. He'll get the corner.
Yeah, he gave him that one. Only 4 pitches yesterday.
See a fairly quiet last week for Taylor Williams. 3-1 pitch. And Marte just misses trying to shoot one down the line.
Yeah, did that last time up against Jeffress. Little fist job in the right field.
Brewers bullpen stirring a little bit. Full count to Marte. Hot shot. Miller right there. That's 1 out.
That's what he gets for hitting it hard.
Serves you right.
Yeah, a little jam shot last time. Almost missed an extra base hit on the handle the pitch before. So good job by Williams to come from behind 3-0 to get him. Perfectly placed was Brad Miller.
Stung that at 101 off the bat. Here is Gregory Polanco. And on base twice, reached on an error in the first. Grounded to first, struck out, walked in the 8th inning. And Williams gets the edge.
And a little rain, extra innings. Get a little bit extra.
Works for us right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't give him that. Little low to even the count. Quite the ball game here this afternoon. Brewers trying to close this one off, and in the pre-All-Star portion of the schedule with something to smile about. Big picture, they've had plenty to smile about. Just a tough week, and it's going to get a little bit tougher as Polanco punches one through. Tying run is on.
Yeah, one-handed, able to hook it into right. It's like pulling teeth, isn't it?
It really is.
Trying to get a win right now. Not a bad pitch by Taylor Williams. Look at this. One-handed, able to find the hole in the right. Not much you can do about that.
It is hit number 7 for the Pirates. Had just 1 through the first 7 innings. Here is Diaz, the catcher. If Williams can get him to hit into a ground ball, doesn't do that, but he pops it up. Aguilar in foul territory, and he hangs in there to make the catch.
Boy, he battled that one all the way. Yeah, the wind is blowing, over the first base dugout. I think it pushed it a little bit further toward the seats than Aguilar had anticipated. Able to go back. He thinks he's got it here, but the ball keeps getting pushed further over toward the stands. And Able to hold it in. Good catch. He stuck with that one all the way.
That's a tough play. Left-handed hitter will be coming up in Colin Moran as you get an idea of the wind that Jesus was dealing with. Council will go lefty-lefty. Dan Jennings is getting loose, so Williams will exit with 2 men out, 1 on. Brewers trying to hang on to this 1-run lead. To pound down right now in Pittsburgh. Dan Jennings needs to wrap this bad boy up right now.
Yeah, they might give us 1 hitter because it is coming down.
Trying to get his 2nd save of this season is Jennings. We go lefty-lefty here as he will face Colin Moran. Moran started the 9th inning with a single to center. Tying run is at first in the form of Gregory Polanco.
Yeah, Jennings threw an inning in yesterday's game 2.
The save for Jennings came on July 5th against Atlanta. It is pouring right now.
Yeah, it is pouring. And you might get 1 hitter. If he doesn't get him, I think they're going to pull the tarp.
1-0 the count to Moran. Little bloop, left field. That's trouble. Polanco motoring to third. Tying run at third. Winning run at first with 2 men out.
Fastball in, 89 miles an hour, and Moran getting a piece of it, dumping it out there into right left field. We're going to let it ride.
Tricky all the way around right now. The footing is going to get nasty. Vision is a challenge. Josh Bell at the plate. He singled in the 9th inning.
Right-handed. Bell, higher batting average, but has 0 home runs this side of the plate.
And way away. Kratz has to flash the glove out there.
Yeah, this is why you don't play in the rain. Yeah, the wet baseball. They want some baseballs. Nobody there to give them to them.
You see the numbers, but as Rock said, it is considerably different. The number of at-bats better than 3-1. 1-0 the count to Bell. Polanco the tying run at third. Into center field, Kane on the run, and he cannot get it. It's going to go to the wall. Tying run is in. Here comes Moran. Relay Saladino, and it goes through cracks, and the Pirates win it. A 5-game series sweep for the Pittsburgh Pirates as they rally twice, in the 9th to tie it, in the 10th to win it.
And the All-Star break came 5 days late for the Milwaukee Brewers. What a disaster series in Pittsburgh. Lose all 5. Heartbreaker here today. Brewers had 2 leads last inning. And that's it. Goodness gracious.
Last 2 hitters in a driving rain, and the Pirates take the finale 7-6. Let's send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Dario Melendez and Brewers Live.